Mrs.Stevy's. It is February 2nd, 2025, and it is almost 60 degrees in Nebraska. It's crazy. So I ain't gonna miss out on this. We haven't had a whole lot of snow. We haven't had a whole lot of ice. The roads shouldn't be too salty from the mix that they put on the ground to melt the snow and ice. So we're gonna chance it and we're gonna go for a ride. It's probably gonna be a pretty quick ride if I keep riding like that. Look at that. Skin is exposed, not cold. It's times like this when you realize how much you love to ride. Because I was sitting in the house and I was almost like, nah, I'm not gonna go. Just not gonna do it. And now I'm doing it, and I'm so glad that I'm doing it. Got that cabin fever, that can't ride fever. And now we're riding. It's amazing. It's awesome. I do have thermal leggings on and Dixon pants, and I have my Harley shoes, and for some reason my feet never get cold in these Harley shoes. T-shirt and a Dixon flannel with the hoodie inside of it. It comes that way. I don't remember what they call it, but and my H2O Revit gloves, and that's it. MotoVlog setup today is my DJI Action 4 camera and my DJI Action 2 mic, which Bluetooths to the camera inside my helmet. Been waiting for this setup our whole lives, right? And ever since we started motovlogging, like all the wires and the microphone adapters that we always had to get, and it was like, why don't they just make something that we can just wirelessly put in our helmets, you know, and then we've got it. Oh lordy. Not the police, man. I'm gonna set the cruise because dang, like 10-15 over is like the norm for some reason right now. I do have the long ride 9-inch windshield, which is a little bit too short for me. I wish it was just a little bit taller, because right here, no noise, right? Noise, no noise. Noise, no noise. So who knows, I might get a little bit taller windshield in the future to have performance mufflers, man. And zombie baffles sound amazing. So it's kind of weird. Usually in most of my motovlogs, because it's warm, the grass is green and there's leaves on the trees and there's usually crops in these fields. Yeah, but it's February and stuff. No, there's another biker. So I installed these heated grips. It doesn't take much. You just plug them in behind the switch housing. But I've heard people say that theirs worked right away, but mine don't work. I gotta take it into a dealer. But 58 degrees, definitely don't need them today. Anybody else do that, speed up when they're going by a semi? I feel like it negates the risk of getting hit by a tire when it blows up. The more you hang out next to them, the more you have a risk of that happening, I think. Because there's some sketchy companies out there that run some sketchy tires. This is such a comfortable setup. And honestly, the stock bars are great. I just like the looks of this better. I do know that there are some people that are still bragging about how many days they rode in a row last year. But I feel terrible for you that that it's really cold up there right now where you're at, and it's like super warm here compared to where you're at, and I'm riding and you're not. I feel terrible about that. Dustin. Alright, homie. So what is the coldest temperature that you've ever ridden in? Mine is 17 degrees. I actually did a video on it. I went to go put the front ledge of suspension on my Blue Road King back in the day at Rocky's house. And I left home and it was 17 degrees. I had heated pants and heated jacket liner and heated gloves on. It was still very cold. I did it, but it wasn't enough. On the way home it was like 40. That was definitely doable. But while we did the front suspension on the front of that bike, the whole time we did it, I never warmed up until I was actually on my way home and I actually turned all that stuff back on. Then my legs warmed up. When I got home, I wasn't bad, but it was cold. 17 degrees was really cold. I know there's a lot of you guys out there that have ridden in colder weather. 17 wasn't horrible, and I didn't go really far, but the Shoei helmet I was wearing at the time, the pin lock didn't fit all that great. And a little bit of air got in between the pin lock and the visor, and that froze. It was a piece of ice from the moisture from my breath and all that stuff. Well, if that stuff would come out, it would get dang near warm out here. I have been asked a bunch about this bike versus the Road King, and honestly, to me,